Hey guys, it's Penguin here and welcome back to another gold making video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you some super simple ways to make lots of gold in patch 10.0.7. We're mainly going to be focusing on one method, but you will easily see how this one single method branches off into many different others. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it, and I hope you enjoy. And alright, before I start talking about this exact method, I want to leave a quick little disclaimer. Once I start talking about this item, people are going to hear the word work order and immediately click off the video or just be super disappointed. However, please give me about 5 or 10 minutes of your time and I will show you how easy this truly is. And if you're still skeptical, take it from me as somebody who never really touches the work order system at all. I finally have made the dive, and this is truly super simple. So just give me a few minutes of your time, but here we go. And so if you guys haven't guessed it already by the character that I'm on, I really want to highlight the new Jewelcrafting Recipe as well as Artisan Curios in patch 10.0.7. I think the best way to show this off is to just explain how to make the gold, and then we'll talk about how to get the recipe and set everything up in a little bit. So this is the recipe right here that I'm talking about. It is a BOP item, meaning we do have to use the work order system, but it is very cheap. Many people do not have any issues supplying these mats themselves. One of them they have to supply, and even if they don't, gem dust is super easy to get. If we take a look over at the crafting bench and go to work orders, you will see our first issue. Right now, as you guys can see, there are a ton of public orders, which is great. This means that this item is in demand because it's used to upgrade primordial stones, which is used for the new ring in this patch. However, the issue is that you only get so many public work orders a day, so you have to resort to personal. And this is where my first big tip comes to play. Immediately, once I say this, immediately on your mind, you guys are probably thinking about trade chat. And as you guys can see, there are plenty of people advertising about it. But there is a new sort of tip that you can do that has gotten me a ton of sales. And this is, instead of making the buyer come to you, you go to the buyer. What I mean is that many people right now are placing these public work orders and then they are walking away, right? They're going back to the Forbidden Reach to farm more items, farm rares, whatever, and they're out of major cities. So you can spam and trade chat for as long as you want, but those people are just not there. So in the new update, they've added the ability to easily whisper people, and that's exactly what I've been doing. Now, sadly, not every time the person is online, but if I remember correctly, yes, this person is. So what I do is I whisper and I say, hey, I can craft your, Elementiums for you. If you send me a private order, I'm out of Publix. And we'll see what they say. This person is AFK, so it might not go through, but that's what I do. You can just copy and paste that message to everybody on this list. We can see if we find another online person. This one's offline. I've actually already checked this before recording. It's kind of a bad time to look, but this is basically the method that I do. But normally I find a pretty good amount of people online. I whisper them and they're always like, sure. And actually, if we go over to personals, I actually have some previous orders from somebody who sent me them before I logged out. So right here, they supplied the gem dust. So all I have to do is hit start order, create. There we go, send it off, and I just made 950 gold. Personally, I'm not really picking what sort of commission I want. I'm just letting people send me whatever, but you could be a lot more picky if you have a lot of requests. Another great thing about this is that we actually procced some silken gem dust, and that goes to us. Resourcefulness goes to the crafter, while multi-craft goes to the buyer. So from this I earned 950 gold, but I also earned 7 silken gem dust, which at this point in time, they're selling for 3 gold a piece, so that's an additional, 21 gold that I can either just sell the item off the auction house or use it towards my other crafts. And boom, there we go. To show you how easy this truly is, these are just my work orders that I've done in about probably 15 to 20 minutes of work. I know this says like this was 7 hours ago, but that's because that's when I was logged in this morning. Like I said, all I do is that I just, whisper every single person, and I have yet to have somebody decline me. They simply just say, oh yeah, I'll send it later, kind of like how that guy did. He just happened to send it after I logged off. But it just truly adds up. For example, all, 6 of these orders right here is coming from one person. So at first glance, 950 gold doesn't seem like a lot from a craft, but 6 of these is coming from one person, so it's really like one person is, paying you about 6,000 gold for just a few seconds of work. I've had some low commissions at only 400 gold apiece, while I've had a very, very high commission at about 15,000. Like I said, I just let people send whatever they want, and I really accept it as long as it's not a loss to me. In total, for just like I said, about 20 minutes of effort, I have made 56k, and that is pure profit. I have yet to have to supply my own materials, so that 55.9k is pure profit. Also, before moving on, I wanted to cover one more additional tip about the whispering. Like I stated, a lot of the times the player is offline, they're just not playing at the moment, but it could also be that they are the opposite faction. Work orders are cross-faction, but you can't actually just simply whisper an alliance or horde character, so what I recommend is make yourself a character of the opposite faction. This is a lot easier to do if you have a second account, but it's not necessary. What you can do is just take a screenshot of, this list right here with all of the players' names, log in to just a random, opposite faction character, and try to whisper them. That's what I did at the start of this video to test it out. I just made a level 1 on my second account, and I whispered somebody that said they were offline, but they were actually just an alliance player. And you can read the message. I told them that they can craft it, and they said, alright, yeah, as long as I'm back in Valdrakken, I'll send it to you. It seems like their public orders did get snatched up before they could send them to me, but he says that, he needs to farm 2 more anyways, and he'll send them my way. So, just a heads up, they could be alliance if they are stated offline. If you're on a split server, you may have to worry about this, but if you're on a, heavily dominated faction server, you might not have to worry about this as much. And alright, if you've made it to this part of the video, I assume you are pretty interested in this gold making method, but you are a little bit skeptical on actually how to start this, because I haven't told you actually how to get this recipe. But it's okay because it's actually pretty simple. So first, let me back up a little bit and we'll get there. And in patch 10.0.7, every single profession has a new item called an Artisan Curio. Gathering professions have these, crafting professions have these, and even fishing and cooking as well. Now, the gathering ones are slightly different, so we're going to ignore those for just a second, but let's talk about the crafting ones. How these are created is through a BOP item that anybody in the Forbidden Reach can pick up. Anybody can, it's just a random drop from any single mob, they can pick these up. Then the related profession can actually craft these into the completed version, which is the epic version. So for example, I can be running around the Forbidden Reach, pick up a damaged trident, and then a blacksmith, or myself in this case because I'm a blacksmith, can craft these into the ancient ceremonial trident. What these completed epic versions of the curios do is spawn a profession-related rare. So for example, this one will spawn the blacksmithing profession rare, which will drop some blacksmithing items, normal rare stuff, artisan metal, and even blacksmithing knowledge points. Now, the reason why this matters is that jewel crafting also has this item. But what makes the jewel crafting rare even more special is that in addition to the knowledge points and all of that, it also drops the unstable recipe. So out of all of the profession rares, this is the one most wanted. Now, in good news, the epic version of curios are not BOP, meaning you can simply buy them off the auction house. So for example, if I wanted to spawn the blacksmithing rare myself, I can look up trident, and there we go, they're selling for about 5k. And 5 to 10k at the moment, the day after patch on NA, is kind of the average rate for all curios. But remember, like I said, the jewel crafting one is special, and if we look up the fork, as you can see, it is pretty pricey. This morning it was actually in the 100,000s, so it's definitely crashed, but still, it's very, very pricey. But thankfully, you don't actually have to buy this. Like I stated, these are the items that actually summon the rare. However, if you are just in the area, you can kill the rare yourself. So all you have to do is make your way over to the amethyst spawning area, wait until somebody summons it, tag it, and you're good to go. Now, I can't technically guarantee this, but from everybody that I've talked to, and I've talked to about 15 different people, everybody has gotten this first try. So I am leaning to the fact that this recipe is in a 100% drop rate, and if it's not, it's still very, very high. And also, sorry, we're gonna pause this video because as I am recording it, I have just gotten sent personal orders, and that is from the Alliance guy that I just sent. So remember I talked about that Alliance character? He finally just sent his Elementium, and I can craft these right here. So apologies for pausing the video for a second, but once again proving the fact that whispering people truly does work. But alright, we've teleported slightly, but going back to the topic at hand, let's talk about that rare once again. Like I stated, you don't actually have to buy the summoning item, you just have to tag the rare, and the rare spawn is right by the flight path. So once you're here inside the village, right up at the north side of the village, there's going to be a little bit of a cave. Now sometimes there are creatures in here you're going to have to kill, but you're just going to make your way down and you're going to see a huge crystal. And this is the spawning zone. I imagine this guy is probably waiting around as well. But all you have to do is just wait around until somebody comes with a crystal tuning fork, or use it yourself. It spawns the rare, and then all you have to do is kill it, and you have the recipe. Additionally, you can try to look for a group. There's been some people who are trying to sell this as a group. There's currently none available right now, but some people are like buying the fork and then making people pay like 25k to get into a group. You don't really have to do that, but if you're desperate, you can definitely pay up for it. But yeah guys, that is how I'm making a ton of gold through the Jewelcrafting Recipe. To quickly summarize and give you a few more ideas, if you have yourself a jewel crafter, go get yourself this recipe and you're good to go. To any non-jewel crafters out there, all of the Artisan Curios still are up for grabs. If you are somebody who doesn't do professions at all, go out there, kill some mobs on the Forbidden Reach, pick up some of those curios, you can place public orders to get them crafted, and then simply sell them on the auction house. I said that I was going to talk about the gathering curios later, and as the name suggests, you get them by simply gathering. So herbalists and miners out there, get out there to the Forbidden Reach, mine and herb some items, and you'll get these curios as a side effect to just up your gold per hour. Getting out of the Artisan Curios, remember that the recipe for unstable Elementium requires gem dust. Because of this, we've seen a huge increase in price because people have been resetting and buying a ton of it, so take this opportunity to potentially produce gem dust. Remember, this is a super simple craft. All you have to do is crush basic gems, so you can probably buy some gems super cheap and then, sell them for a profit with the high gem dust. But yeah guys, that is basically it. Hopefully this can give you a few ideas on how to make some gold and show you that work orders can actually be super easy. If you guys want to see this live, I do live stream on Twitch. I did this exact method on Twitch earlier, and many people were saying, oh my gosh, Penguin, this is so easy. And it just truly is. So get out there, test it out, and make some easy gold, everybody. But thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day.